Have you ever caught yourself second guessing every gut feeling you have, wondering if you're overreacting, doubting your emotions, even when deep down you know something isn't right? You can feel it in your chest, you feel it in your gut, but somehow you still talk yourself out of trusting it? If you're nodding right now, this video is for you because today we're breaking down why self-trust is the first casualty in a toxic relationship and how you can start getting it back. Hi. I'm Coach Nia Renee, a certified narcissistic abuse relationship recovery coach. I help abuse survivors break free from emotional wounds and build thriving relationships deep rooted in self-trust and intention. So let's talk about it. Let's start here. Self-trust is not something you lose overnight. It's eroded, tiny moment by tiny moment, especially in toxic, narcissistic, emotionally abusive relationships. You are systematically taught that your instincts, your gut reactions are wrong, inconvenient, or downright crazy. Over time, that inner voice, the one that says this doesn't feel right, gets quieter. Not because you're weak, but because it became safer to ignore it than to risk conflict or abandonment or rejection. This isn't just about losing trust in them, it's about losing trust in you. Let's break it down. Here's why this happens. In a healthy relationship, when you bring up a feeling, maybe you're hurt or confused or upset, you're met with curiosity, care, and communication. Your emotions are treated like they matter. But in a toxic relationship, your feelings are treated like a threat. You express discomfort and they gaslight you. You're being dramatic. You're too sensitive. You're making things up. And at first you might push back. You might think, no, I know what I felt. But over time, the more feelings are dismissed, the more you start dismissing them yourself. Not because you believe it, but because it's the only way to survive without constant conflict. You start to gaslight yourself. Before you even open your mouth, you're already thinking, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm the problem. This is called self-gaslighting, and it's one of the most powerful and invisible wounds toxic relationships leave behind. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're with someone and you notice they're getting cold and distant. Your gut tells you something's wrong, but the second you think about bringing it up, your mind jumps in with, don't be needy, don't be dramatic, he's just tired. You feel it and then you silence it, and eventually you stop even noticing it. That's not intuition disappearing, that's survival mode taking over. Your brain is trying to keep you safe in a relationship where your emotions were dangerous, so you bury them. There's also something deeper going on here. Trauma physically rewires your brain. When you're in survival mode long enough, the parts of your brain responsible for intuition and decision making, like the amygdala and prefrontal cortex, start firing differently. You're not making calm, clear-headed choices anymore. You're scanning for danger. You're minimizing yourself to stay safe. You're prioritizing short-term peace over long-term truth. This is why even after the relationship ends, you might still find yourself second-guessing everything because your brain was literally trained to doubt you. But here's the truth. Just because you learn to doubt yourself doesn't mean that's your truth. It just means it's your starting point. So how do you know if you've lost trust in your relationship? Here are a few signs. You are constantly asking other people for advice or validation, even on small decisions. You ignore your initial gut feelings until they scream at you. You replay situations over and over, wondering if you're the problem. You struggle to set or enforce boundaries because you don't trust your reasons for needing them. If any of that sounds familiar, take a breath. You're not broken. You're responding exactly how someone who's been trained to distrust themselves would respond. And more importantly, you can unlearn it. So let's talk about how to begin rebuilding that trust. First, validate without proof. You don't need evidence to honor your feelings. If something feels off, allow yourself to acknowledge it without rushing to justify it. Second, micro commitments to yourself. Start small. Make a promise to yourself every day. Even if it's something like, I'm going to journal for 5 minutes, or I'm going to go on a walk and then keep it. These small acts rebuild self-trust brick by brick. Third, reality check. When you start doubting yourself, pause and ask, if my best friend told me this story, what would I tell her? We tend to be more compassionate and clear when it's someone else. Fourth, catch the inner critic. When you hear your self-doubt creeping in, ask yourself, is this my voice or is this an old wound talking? Naming it helps you separate yourself from the programming you inherited. And finally, practice responding, not reacting. When something triggers you, pause. Don't react on instinct. Give yourself space to listen to your body, your gut, your heart, not the fear that's trying to protect you in old, outdated ways. I want you to know your intuition never left you. It's been there the whole time, quietly waiting for you to listen to you again. You don't have to be perfect to trust yourself. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to start tiny step by tiny step, proving to yourself that your feelings are valid, your boundaries are real, and your voice is worth hearing. If this resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What's one small way you can start trusting yourself again today? And if you're ready to start rebuilding self-trust and start healing after a toxic relationship, don't forget to subscribe because this is only the beginning. You deserve to trust yourself again, and you will.